every time I come to you, I will come to you from this platform, Secretary Chris Ano Facebook page, and of course on SCTV, until we have resurrected our new TV platform. This is where I will be coming to you from. And it's not going to be long, I can assure you that. It is not going to be long until we come up with a new TV platform. So please, if you have not hit the like button on Secretary Chris, hit it right now. Hit the like button and follow me on this page so that when I put up notices for broadcast, you are duly informed and kept aware. So go ahead and hit the like button on this page, so that you are updated with the notifications that I put out. Thank you very much for joining. Unfortunately, Ground Zero will not be watching this on SCBC, but they can watch it afterwards on social media. So please, I plead with you, let this video get as wide as possible so that those on Ground Zero who were expecting to watch on the SCBC can also have access to it through the social media. Thank you so much for tuning in. At this moment, I do not want to keep you waiting any further. I would like to bring you the presentation right away. Again, please continue to hit that share button. Continue to hit that share button. Thanks very much. Good evening and good afternoon, fellow Ambazonians. We find ourselves at the verge of history repeating itself. And this is about happening because, as they say, some people never learn from history. You are aware that we as a people face this present predicament, this present war, because a few individuals got overtaken by greed and sold our generation for positions in the French Cameroon administration many years ago. Today, at the very time we smell and see hope for a free and restored independent republic of Ambazonia in the horizon, there comes a set of individuals, Southern Cameroonians, masquerading as elites to abort the dream of 8 million of us. Yesterday, Wednesday, July the 25th, meeting in Douala, colonial territory of French Cameroon, a group of Christian leaders, including the Venerable Cardinal Christian Toomey, with some Muslim leaders picked from both of our states, all Zoons, issued a press statement announcing the convening of what they described as Anglophone General Conference, the AGC. In announcing the holding of the conference, the conveners argued that such is necessary for Anglophones in their words, so they have a platform in which to do necessary preparatories on matters to be discussed at an all-inclusive dialogue that they hope Paul Biya will soon convene. At the AGC, they will enumerate the Anglophone problem, as they put it, then profess solutions, and then nominate who they deem will be qualified to sit in the all-inclusive dialogue table with French Cameroon to discuss the Anglophone problem. The illegitimate colonial governors of our two states, they said, have been invited to sit at a conference. And they, knowing surely well that La République du Cameroun isn't going to call off their war and withdraw their troops, their terrorists, from our territory, have asked that we lay down our arms and guarantees peace and space so that they can sell us for a second time. The document is high-sounding nothing. Colonial governors are guaranteed to sit in it to monitor what they discuss. But no invitation has been extended to the interim government and other frontline groups in the conflict in the country. Worse still, the agenda of the conference is a discussion on the federal Cameroon, a point we have long gone past in this struggle. From the statement, it is very apparent that these self-proclaimed leaders, including Dr. Simon Munzo and clergy, haven't yet learned anything since this conflict escalated almost 2 years ago. They are still referring to all of us simply as Northwesterners and Southwesterners, or better still, Anglophones. These appellations that French Cameroon invented to use to divide and rule us, or rule our two states. But we have long moved away from those names. We are not mere Northwesterners and Southwesterners anymore, or Anglophones. We are Ambazonians. I am a proud Ambazonian from Lebialem County, a Z boy. You are a proud Ambazonian from Bamenda, Abakwa. You are a proud Kumba boy or girl from K-Town. You are a proud Ingi, Bafut, Batoke, Moya, Kumbo, Indu, Indop, Ekok, Mamfe, Indian, Tombe, Bakasi, Victoria, Boya. And you can go on and name the rest. At this time and age, fellow Ambazonians, we cannot continue to allow anyone, especially our colonizers, address us in those slave names, those names entitled that the colonial master invented to use in dividing us. It is time we get rid of those appellations once and for all. Let's get used to using our community names when referring to where we hail from, where we come from. I mean our county names. Get rid of the name Northwest and Southwest. We are not Anglophones either. We are Ambazonians. Any official use of the word Anglophone is an attempt at marginalizing us and denying us our real identity and heritage as a people. This interim government would like the conveners of this conference to get it plain and clear that there isn't anything today, as and I quote, the Anglophone problem in the context in which they put it. There used to be an Anglophone problem when we were still in courtship with La République du Cameroon. But the courtship didn't work. It didn't last. And we have since decided to go our way. The only problem we have with French Cameroon is getting them to the table to agree to a settlement concerning what they still owe us. Once that is done, we won't be asking for a pin from French Cameroon. In their statement, the conference organizers call on French Cameroon to facilitate and expedite the return of all the internally displaced persons and refugees resulting from this evil war before the date of their conference. But they fail to tell all of us where these refugees and the displaced will go to live, knowing that they no longer have homes to go to. One thing is clear. This conference or this meeting is a fraud. concocted to facilitate the holding of Paul Biya's election in our country, Ambazonia. That is exactly what it is all about. It is very unfortunate that our very own highly revered Cardinal Christian Twomey is about soiling his hands, about playing the role of ST Mona as in 1961 in this present dispensation. This interim government is appealing to Cardinal Twomey to carefully reconsider his involvement in this conference and consider not soiling his hard-earned integrity built over the years through his advocacy for freedom. We recall that in the 90s, Cardinal Twomey had the opportunity to be a solution to the conflict in Cameroon when he was literally begged by John Frundi to be SDF presidential candidate. And what did Cardinal Twomey do? He denied it. Why is Cardinal Twomey now so much interested in leading a project that has gone past repairs and that which will skew the aspirations of same people he has always wanted to protect? What is the wisdom behind it? Again, we are appealing to the Cardinal to consider his career, his honor, and his old age and wash his hands from this conference. This generation of Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians, unlike the generation of the Monas and the Funchas, isn't going to spare anyone this time who attempts to abort this dream of a free and independent Southern Cameroons. The interim government would like to make it very, very clear that the conference and the planned French Cameroon elections, if forced upon us as we have banned it, we will have no choice but to shred everyone and everything about it into pieces. Ambazonians, take note. These two events, the conference and the elections, are a test of our resolve and our might over the prosecution of this war. It is a matter of do or die. If we dare allow this conference and the elections to hold in our territory, then I can assure you that this revolution, as we know it, will be over. We cannot see it happen. Every one of us, if you care about the gains we have made, must say no to Cardinal Twomey and Dr. Simon Munzu's conference. The interim government is right now consulting with all the frontline leaders in the diaspora for the need for a single front. And one of these days, an important announcement will be made about it. This threat is against all of us. And by the way, what is wrong with these people, with this so-called elite? Are they that ignorant with what is going on? I mean the resolve of the people. At a time when an overwhelming population of Southern Cameroonians are saying bye-bye to French Cameroon, why do these people so desperately just want to drag us back into the mess they created in the first place? They had the AAC1 and the AAC2. How was that market? What happened? What has changed since then? Instead, we had French judges, magistrates, and so-called procureurs lording over us in our courtrooms. We had our schools flooded with French teachers who cannot speak a word in English, brainwashing our children from their infancy with the French language, a foreign language. Our offices are flooded with workers who cannot speak a word in the English language. They serve us in a language we do not understand. Since 1993 and 1994, after AAC 1 and 2, what has changed that you think this newfound conference will change? As far as this interim government and all the frontline movements in this revolution are concerned, this present Southern Cameroon generation is the generation that will save the Southern Cameroons. And we are not yet ready for any ill-conceived dialogue that plans to force a federal state on us. In this war, no Ambazonian has died fighting for a federal Cameroon. All those who have died fighting for a free and independent Southern Cameroons and Ambazonia. If we get their sacrifice and compromise their just cause, and compromise this just cause of ours, God will never forgive us and will forever remain slaves, and God will punish all of us. We cannot forget about those old women burned in the confines of their homes by Cameroon soldiers. We cannot ignore those mass graves in my 16 Boya. We cannot forget those gory scenes of torture and barbarism, where French Cameroon soldiers are either cutting the throat of our people, cutting their necks, raping our children, and burning down their towns and villages. Images from the bushes of our sisters and mothers using grass, tree leaves for sanitary pads still haunt us. Images of women having delivery in the bushes still haunt us. Images of our young heroes cut into two for defending freedom still haunt us. This interim government and all freedom-loving Ambazonians say no to Simon Monzo and Kadana Tume's conference. We say no to Simon Monzo and Kadana Tume's federal Cameroon. In the past, this interim government has clearly defined the conditions under which it will come to table to negotiate with French Cameroon regime. We have stated that any thought of a mediation must commence only after the fulfillment of the following conditions. Number one, removal of all, and I mean all, of French Cameroon terrorist soldiers from our territory, Ambazonia. And number two, unconditional release of all Ambazonians, including President Sisiko Julius Ayuktabe and all the other leaders held incommunicado with him. Number three, the return of all refugees and the displaced. The interim government, or this interim government, has also made it unequivocally clear that it will not be party to any mediation or negotiation with French Cameroon that holds in our territory. Negotiations must take place in a neutral country and under strict supervision of the United Nations, the AU, the USA, and the United Kingdom. No conference in any other form other than this will satisfy the interim government and bring it to table with French Cameroon. Until then, any other thing else is dead at conception. The war continues, and we must live free until we take back our territory. We must live free, or else fight until victory comes into the horizon. Thank you very much for listening today. Again, this is our resolve. There is no turning back. There is no looking back. No form of conference, no form of organization is going to entice this interim government to look back to ever having anything to do with French Cameroon. The divorce was severed October 1st, 2017. Again, thank you for listening. God bless. God bless Ambazonia. Short live this struggle. Long live Ambazonia.